Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. In this video, I'm going to do my first NFL power rankings of the 2022 NFL season. How I'm going to structure the video is I'm going to go over the bottom 3 teams and then the top 10 teams. Let me know in the comments whether you agree, disagree, if teams should be there, if I missed anything. Let me know there, but let's not waste any more time, guys. Let's jump right in. Kicking it off in the bottom 3 teams. In 30th in my power rankings are going to be the Detroit Lions. Now the Lions are on a bye week. They're just coming off of it. They're 1-4 on the season. Defense is easily the worst in the NFL. They really can't do much right defensively. Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall pick, he's had a good half of football in 5 football games, so that's not looking too good there. But they do have a redeeming quality, and that's actually their offense. Statistically, at least, they are a top 5 offense. They're scoring 28 points per game. If the defense can do anything, they might be able to get a number of more wins, but overall not looking too great for Detroit. Now moving in 31st in the power rankings, I have the Houston Texans, 1-3-1 on the year. Also now coming off a bye week. So really statistically and just passing the eye test, bottom 5 in offense, really bottom 5 in defense too. But there are some good things to look forward to if you're a Texans fan. Dameon Pierce, the rookie running back, is looking great. I'd like to see him more involved in the passing game, however, but also rookie safety Jalen Petrie has been really, really good. It's going to take the Texans another year or two before they're really competitive, but overall, they do have some young players to look forward to seeing how they develop. Now, moving on to the worst team in the NFL, and I don't think this is any surprise, it's going to be the Carolina Panthers. 1-5 on the year. They're a complete mess. Pretty much going to be maybe in full-on rebuild mode. There's a couple of players that I'm sure they're going to want to keep around for the future. Offensively, Ike Mekwonu, probably DJ Moore as well. Defensively, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, JC Horn. Outside of that, they got to blow the whole thing up, and they just traded Robbie Anderson away. It's not looking good for the Carolina Panthers. But now, coming up next, it's going to be my top 10 power rankings in the NFL. Coming in at number 10 are the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the Bengals 3-3 on the season, but they've had really, really close losses to the Baltimore Ravens, to the Dallas Cowboys. And really, I think with the Bengals, they're a team that's getting better as the season goes on. The offense, the offensive line in particular, is going to gel more the more they play. They do have 4 very winnable games in a row, so don't be surprised if they're 6-4, maybe even 7-3. And yeah, I think with the Bengals, it feels like they're just getting it together. Going to be a team that's going to be really one to be reckoned with as the season moves on. Moving into 9th, and it's going to be the Tennessee Titans. They are 3-2 on the season, coming off an early bye week. And here's the big question with the Titans. We know Tannehill is okay. He's going to do his thing. But Derrick Henry, can he really carry them? Can he carry them to another playoffs? We saw them do really, really well last year. They are missing a couple of guys defensively, but the Tennessee Titans, and here's a really good redeeming factor for them. Of their remaining 12 games, almost half of them, so 5 of the games left in their season, is going to be against AFC South opponents, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Colts. So a pretty easy schedule when you look at it there. Now, let's get into number 8, and that's going to be the New York Jets, coming in at 8th in my power rankings. 4-2 on the season, 3 wins in a row. The last 2 in particular, very, very impressive. Going into Green Bay and just stomping on Green Bay. Going into Lambeau Field, not an easy thing to do. Then the week before, beating the Miami Dolphins. I know they're down quarterbacks, but still convincingly beating the Dolphins. For me, the Jets, if the offense can become a little bit more consistent, Zach Wilson, still a very young quarterback, I think he'll get better. But Quinnen Williams for the Jets, 5 sacks on the year. And to me, if he can keep this going, is a potential defensive MVP of the season. Now, moving into number 7, and that's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens 3-3 on the year. Here's the thing. When you look at the Ravens, they've squandered leads. They really easily could be 6-0. You look at their 3 losses by a combined 11 points. So with just a play here or there, the Ravens again could easily be undefeated. Look, they have a great quarterback in Lamar Jackson. I think the defense will get a little bit better. They have a new coordinator this year, so we knew that was going to take a little bit of time. But the Ravens, still a team to be reckoned with, I think, in the AFC, especially in their division. Now moving on to number 6, we're going to have the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be 4-2 on the season. Last night, they just lost to the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. What I liked about the Cowboys, though, is they showed a ton of heart. They were down maybe 17-0, maybe even 20-0. Came back, battled back with Cooper Rush. So you have to think, look, if you're the Cowboys, Dak Prescott is coming back. And here's the thing, too. The Cowboys have a decent defense. Turnovers, they're forcing them. But I think you're really going to see the season change for the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. I do like their defensive coordinator in Dan Quinn. And overall, the Cowboys, again, they're getting healthy. Michael Gallup is coming back. They're looking pretty good. Let's see how the Cowboys do as the season moves forward. But now coming up next is going to be my top 5 power rankings. Coming in at number 5 are going to be the Minnesota Vikings, 5-1 on the season. Now, when you look at the Vikings, their offense and defense really has been fairly average overall. If you look at it, like statistically speaking, points per game, yards per game, pretty average, but it's complementary football. The other thing too with the Vikings, they're number 2 in turnover differential. And when you're a decent team, decent offensively, decent defensively, if you're getting those turnovers, of course, you're giving your offense a lot more opportunities to score, and they've been able to capitalize on that. The Vikings, 4 wins in a row. The division's not looking great at all, so you think there's some very winnable games as well for the Vikings, considering they have the Lions, the Bears, the Packers. So the Vikings looking in pretty good shape in the NFC North. Now moving on to number 4, we have the other New York team, the New York Giants, 5-1. Who would have thought it? Well, let's talk about the Giants. They just keep on winning games. They find ways to win. It's almost the opposite of the Baltimore Ravens. They're finding ways to win, and they just beat the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. Now here's the thing, Saquon Barkley having a phenomenal year, really showing he's back fully healthy. Daniel Jones is playing pretty good, but it's great coaching. And I think the Giants, that's where they've really struggled in recent years. Ben McAdoo, Pat Shurmur, Joe Judge. Now you get Brian Daboll, who's looking like the real deal. So you have to be excited, of course, if you're a New York Giants fan. Now moving into the top 3, we're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs at number 3, 4-2 on the year. Here's the thing, number 1 offense and scoring. Their 2 losses are by a combined 7 points to the Colts and then yesterday to the Buffalo Bills. We know how good the Chiefs are. As a 49ers fan, I'm somewhat terrified of how the game is going to go this Sunday, but overall the defense is the one slight concern for the Chiefs, really middling of the pack so far, but typically their offense is able to carry them to wins week in and week out. Now number 2 in the power rankings, we're going to have the Philadelphia Eagles, the only remaining undefeated team. Here's the thing, they're second in point differential to the number 1 team, and I think we know who that's going to be. But overall, here's the thing, their offense, their defense, top 6. Philadelphia, plus 12 in turnovers in 6 games. On average, they're turning the ball over 2 more times than the opposing team. So the Eagles playing great football. They're looking like the class of the NFC, and it's really looking like the road is going to go through Philadelphia in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. And of course, coming in at number 1, we have the Buffalo Bills, 5-1 on the year. Josh Allen looking like an MVP candidate. They just come away with a big win in Kansas City. And let's just take a look at these numbers. Offense, first in yards per game, second in points per game. Defense, second in yards per game, first in points per game, first in points differential, and they're just looking absolutely fantastic. Buffalo is looking like the best team in the NFL, and I think it's hard to argue that. But again, guys, that's going to do it for my power rankings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and do look forward to having some good discussions right there. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. You know, there's 2 things I'm going to say. The butt counts. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side.